aligning with your client's buying process better. It's funny because people call it modern selling, which makes me sound really old talking about modern selling. The internet has been with us for many, many years now. And some people in this room, I'm sure, were born into an internet world, or maybe not, or maybe just, or whatever. But it has been with us an extremely long time. But for some reason, a lot of people ignore it when it comes to selling their product. They forget that people can now have got a lot more information at the very readily available for them to be able to understand products and what's out there. So if they're launching a buying process, they can do the first two steps, which is about understanding the solutions that are out there and putting sort of an RFQ together. They can do those things on their own. They don't need the salesperson as they did in the past. So, in the past, and I'd say I'm old enough to remember when I was going around and people would see me because it was kind of what you did. And it's not like that anymore. People have got much more efficient ways, and we talked about the fact that people are much busier. There's a lot of research on that you can read online if you want, about how much busier people are these days in terms of their jobs. So if they need to buy something, they often start by doing their own research and understanding what's out there. You know that because you make your website so good, and people can read and understand what you do to allow them to really come to you. Well, that really means you have to change your sales, the way you're selling to people. So I think that these three questions are really helpful in terms of relating to your client's buying process. So I think it is really important that you do understand. So market research is key about understanding how people buy from you. So again, we talked about understanding who your target audience is and what you're selling. So when you've got these aligned and you can look at it and go, okay, well, we've got three key target markets and two key products that we sell, you can then start to sort of break down how people do buy in your market. Obviously, if you're able to do market research and really kind of go into it in a more deep way, that would be great. But you could also look at your current clients and how they buy from you and what they need from you, and even ask them those questions around how when you going to sort of buy my kind of product, how do you go about it, what do you do, things like understanding what are the key reasons people buy your product. What do they need to know about it from you to make them feel that you're the right company for them? So what would be their main key worries? What did they see as valuable when they buy your product? So understanding these questions would help you to sort of be a bit clearer on how people buy, and it's all about them rather than about you. And it's so easy when you got your sales process to just leave in that silo of yours and of your company and your product and go, well, what we sell is excellent, it solves all these problems and we can do this, that and the other, but you completely miss out what your clients are actually looking for. And if that is something that you do, then you often not selling as much because you miss the mark and you just go out there and do whatever, and you go, okay, well, the next step of my first step of my sales process is this, and I do this and I do that, but it misses out what actually is happening with the prospects and the leads in your marketplace. So I think that when you're going through that buying selling process, your first question is asking where we are. So if you're talking, if it's yourself that do the sales or you've got a team, the first question is about where you are. So where is the customer in their buying journey at the moment? So we've got an opportunity, all wonderful, all excellent. What are they doing at the moment? Because the buying journey, again, has quite defined steps. So they understand their problem, they come up with the brief, they go out to suppliers, they evaluate, they shortlist, and they make a decision, essentially. So it's understanding where they are in their buying process at the moment. Are they in a process of putting together a brief? Are they not even looking at buying at the moment? So at the moment, it's just something that they're a problem that you've heard about but isn't actually being dealt with. All of these things would really help you to put it into your funnel and understand actually what is your chances of selling. So if they're not if they're not buying at the moment, are you selling? Probably not, but you might be because you're building a relationship. So it's thinking about where do you put it in terms of your percentages of selling to this customer. Okay, so that is really important to understand where they are. They've already got a brief out there and they're looking for suppliers. Well, you're in a great place, but it depends how many people they're engaging with and what are your chances. And that is where understanding what matters to them and what do they attach value to is really key, because if you've got 3 or 4 other people running for it, you need to understand what they attach value to and what makes them feel safe, and understand whether you provide that. And more importantly, have you told them? Have you made sure that you've told them that you do all these things? It's a game changer when you start thinking about those things rather than thinking about it in isolation. Once you understand where they are, the next question to ask is how you're doing. So what have you done so far in terms of sales activities? So you've had meeting with the key decision maker, you've sent a proposal, or whatever it is that you have done, what's been initiated and completed. So if they had case studies from you, if they had your proposal, have you had meetings, have you discussed value, what have you done and was initiated and completed? And that would help you to then decide what's the best thing to do. Because if you look at it and go, okay, well, actually, we've done all of this stuff, but they're not actually initiated the buying process yet, and we're in this no man land where we just need to keep in touch, then the best thing to do is to try and identify a good time, book a coffee with this person to get an update in 3 months, for example. If they have initiated their request for information and you've sent stuff, but you suddenly thought about the fact that actually for them, it's really important to know that you do training of your product and you haven't let them know that, you should send that to them at that stage and explain why. So it really helps you to be really clear on the next stage and what you're going to do to keep this sales going. Because the new salesperson, the modern salesperson, is all about keeping the buying process going. It's not about selling, but keeping the buying process going and influencing it so you win the deal.